It is officially rivalry week, and if you are hyped up for the game, Ohio State and that team up north, hype it up. Hit that hype button. If you're watching on mobile, go to the comment section, swipe over, smash that hype button because we are hyped for Ohio State and that team up north. One of the keys to Saturday's game is, of course, going to be assessing injuries. Who's playing, who's not, how hurt are they, so on and so forth. We talked about a lot, and we continue to talk about it because it may be the biggest storyline, which is crazy to think about in a matchup between Ohio State and that team up north. We heard from someone new on the injury front as we continue to wonder if Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate will play Saturday. One of their teammates sliding in a little comment. I saw a lot of you guys. I appreciate this because I missed it Saturday getting the post-game reaction video ready. You guys mentioned it in the comment section. I went out and found it. Brandon Inniss, one of the captains, mentioning he was asked about stepping up because they don't know when these guys will be back. And Brandon Inniss said, them guys will be back. They'll be back. Saying that as far as Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate goes. As far as this message, I think it's just something good. We're not getting much from Ryan Day. We'll go back to that in just a second. We haven't heard a ton from Smith or Tate. Inniss saying they'll be back. No, he didn't say this week, next week, whenever. But hey, I think it's something good. It's a message we can all get behind. It's a teammate hyping up his other teammates in a time where Buckeye Nation is going a little crazy about if these guys will play or not. Now, I have asked you guys multiple times, will Tate play against Rutgers? Will Smith play against Rutgers? Smith and Tate, will they play against, this game, that game, the next game? Let's go to percentages. This might make me feel better, might make you feel better. You don't have to give me a yes or no. Give me a percentage chance that Smith and Tate will play on Saturday. Let me know down in the comments section below. And again, going through what's been said about the injuries and where we're at right now from Ryan Day after the game Saturday, he gave us, this is the question, is this more details? Is this more than what we've gotten? Only thing I'll really say is they are day to day. No pun intended. Shout out Coach Ryan Day. Is this more info? Is this more information after Ryan Day says, hey, we don't give details here. We don't talk about injuries much here, so on and so forth. I kind of got the vibe like this is good news, right? This is not only is the Inniss speaking good news, but Ryan Day giving a little more information is good news. That's how I felt about this situation. So Ryan Day, that was him Saturday, and then Jeremiah Smith, who didn't speak after the UCLA game, comes Saturday after all the talk and discussion of everything that's going on. He finally puts a tweet out, and no, it's not much. God is in charge. I don't know. It's something, right? At least like it's not like we're getting nothing and he's not saying much and there's a lot going on. And I'm still split on how I feel about it, on whether I think Jeremiah Smith will play Saturday. Part of that is the quietness of the injury. Part of it is, again, you saw a video of him walking around the field Saturday. It's just not a good look. I don't know, like, if it's just taking it light. And again, you don't know if it's a quad, if it's a back, if it's a hamstring, if it's a leg. The limp is a really tough look right now for Jeremiah Smith. That's what worries me. However, the good side of it, or the split side of it, and again, we're talking good and bad news in this video, the guy knows the importance of this matchup. He has made that clear how passionate he is about this game on Saturday. We go back to that iconic quote. This was before the season. They hadn't even played Texas yet. And Jeremiah Smith was asked by Urban Meyer. We don't got to go through the whole thing here. You guys can pause it if you want to read the full quote. But use that word hate, hates him. He tells a story about when he visited Ohio State and he was wearing blue and the coaches told him he's got to take it off. So, that word hate. He hates Michigan. He hated that loss last year. We know that. Plus, Saturday's his birthday. That's right. Saturday against Michigan is Jeremiah Smith's birthday. Do I think that's the ultimate decider for if he'll play? No, but again, you can drop your percentage down below. What percent chance do you think it'll be that Smith and Tate play? We already went over that. On the other side of things, to make this even more wild, and I was starting to develop this theory. I didn't want to dive into it too much before we, again, continue to get information over time. I think Carnell Tate's injury is actually a little bit like worse or weirder than Jeremiah Smith's, right? Because he either tweaked something or was tight against Purdue and then misses 3 weeks. Misses Purdue and then out again and then out again Saturday. So Tate is actually the one where I'm curious, and Austin Ward of 97.1 The Fan in Columbus, noting that he feels good about Smith and not as good about Tate, or is more curious about Tate. So I land on the same thing, right? I've been kind of thinking the same thing myself. More likely to see Jeremiah Smith than Carnell Tate Saturday against the team up north. That's kind of where I stand with it. So, the Inniss part is good news to say those guys will be back. Ryan Day giving a little more information with the day-to-day. That's definitely good. And then maybe some bad news there in a way, thinking about those two. And we got more things we have to go through that are not great coming up here in just a second. But first, good opportunity here to let you guys know this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It is the holiday season, the best time of the year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It is all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's only one place where it feels good to be right, and that is Prize Picks. Simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and if you get your picks right, you could cash in. And the Monday matchup we're taking a look at here, George Kittle, more on the rushing or receiving touchdown. Who knows? Maybe they give a little handoff to George Kittle, and then less on McMillan receiving yards, 49ers and Panthers going at it. So again, 2 player stats projection put it up there. Also, got a new feature alert. Prize Picks now has early payouts. So if your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. I know people love that. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. More kind of bad news on this whole injury front and going through everything the Buckeyes have going on during rivalry week. We got a glimpse of the offense when they are dealing with Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate out of the game. I didn't like what I saw. I didn't. I know 42 points on the board is great, and you did get some good performances, but you thought receivers were going to have to step up in the absence of these guys, and I don't think they did. The 2 leaders in receiving yards for this game ended up being Brandon Inniss and David Adolph. You can see stat-wise, these guys just didn't get vertical. They didn't stretch the field. They didn't go down. Short passes, short catches, horizontal crosses over the field. Adolph dropped a big 3rd down pass. Inniss did catch that touchdown pass, but Brandon Inniss looked like Brandon Inniss, not Brandon Inniss stepping up, right? That was the key there. Speaking of stepping up, there were guys we said, this young receiver will step up and play more. This young receiver will step up and play more. Ryan Day did not have the same thinking as the rest of us. Looking at the snap counts from Saturday from the receivers, and shout out my guy Josh Ploha, Medina High School, as well as myself. Inniss with the most snaps at receiver. Adolph, who was the shocker. Everybody thought, okay, it's senior day, that's why Adolph's playing. Then it's no Mylan Graham until the 3rd quarter. Mylan Graham was like the guy Saturday. It was his moment. It was his day. 12 snaps and no catches later. Same with Bryson Rogers, a receiver I thought was going to have a huge day. 23 snaps, no catches, no yards. And, again, somehow Adolph ends up just being a part of the day. He had 36 snaps total going into this one. And then next thing you know, I don't know exactly how, but he's having a huge day. Snap-wise, not catching-wise. I thought he was good, not great catching the ball and just getting open. He's more of a blocking receiver in general. So overall, you were really excited to see how this offense looked, plugging in some younger receivers. And the answer you got was they can't really stretch the field vertically with the receivers on that second unit, and they're not as deep at receiver and so on and so forth. Thankfully, though, Max Clare stepped up. He was the one who went out there and made the difference for Ohio State. You look at his day, 7 catches, 105 yards, obviously a good average with that. Gets the receiving touchdown. He was a monster against Rutgers. A really good day for the tight end as he continues to grow in this offense. After all that talk, after everything we said and talked about and went at with that game, and it's Quincy Porter, it's Mylan Graham, it's Bryson Rogers, even Phillip Bell was mentioned as somebody to watch pregame. It was Max Clare who was the next guy up for the Buckeyes, and it leads me to kind of wonder, should he be a bigger part of this offense? Up to you guys too. Let me know down below if you think Max Clare should get more targets, whether it be Saturday or going forward. You can type Y for yes or N for no if you like the way the offense has kind of gone this season. And, again, Saturday was kind of a day where those receivers weren't great, but Bo had a great day for the Buckeyes. Bo Jackson had a good one. And I say he proved himself, and you may say to yourself, Billy, Bo's proved himself plenty. He's had great games. This was the first game where you said, Bo Jackson has to be great today. You got receivers out. That's a bad run defense. He needs to be good, and that's exactly what he was. Multiple touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing, under 20 carries, by the way. That's what you need, especially getting ready for Michigan, right? And I know last year is a bit scarring for people because the Buckeyes ran it way too much last year against Michigan. But we know the history of this game. You do have to run the ball and be able to run the ball to be successful in this rivalry game against the team up north. Bo Jackson's a big key to that, and I liked what I saw from Bo Saturday. Gives me a lot of confidence going forward for that game. And as we continue to prepare for that game, ride with us. Hit that sub button if you have not already. We are so close to 19,000 subscribers. Jump on the train, help us get there, and get hyped for the game on Saturday, because this matchup has me asking some other questions. And one of the things Ryan Day put an emphasis on right after the Rutgers game is the routine is key for Ohio State. They want to practice and prepare the same way they have all year, because they want to say they don't want to psych their guys out for it to be a bigger or more like emotional time. Like, we know how to prepare. We do a good job preparing. Let's continue, right? That's pretty key. And Ryan Day talking about it after the game against Rutgers. Everything that comes with this game, we want to keep it as routine as we can. Keep the guys focused on what we've worked on all year. And the number one goal is to grade out a champion. They have that goal for every game. No reason to change it for Saturday. My concern is, can you prepare for this game not knowing if you'll have Tate and Smith? That's a gigantic question to have. Physically, yeah, you should be doing the same practices, same effort, same timing. If you're a guy that stays after 20 extra snaps, yeah, do the exact same thing. Stay after there. But I think it's absolutely worth noting that you are preparing with your guys being listed as day to day, right? That was the latest update for Ryan Day. He listed Smith as day-to-day and Carnell Tate as day-to-day. That means Tuesday, maybe you're practicing with them, Wednesday without, or you don't practice all week because you want to rest them until Saturday. Kind of a wild situation going into such a big game, not only for Ryan Day, of course, but the team and the state of Ohio, all that going on. And so interesting to me, the injury situation, which we will keep you up to date all week long as we continue to look forward to the game.